Good morning, second period. We are beginning week 5. This is day 1, and today is April 27th. You have a journal entry to complete today. So you will find this link in Google Classroom and you will click on the Google Docs and you are going to type your thoughts and then you will submit it to me so that I know that I can take a look at it and grade it. So let's take a look at this. Can you think of a relationship between teenagers where there are some issues? Think about what's difficult about that relationship and ask yourself, why is it so difficult? Often, when there are tensions in a relationship, one person has more power than the other. That imbalance of power may just be in one setting and it may be temporary, but the questions of who has power, who doesn't have power, how does this power shift, are often at the root of relationship trouble. Think about the types of power that might exist among teenagers. Brainstorm a list of all of the ways you can think of that one teenager might have power over another. We're going to be remembering a lesson from a deep study of character. Complex characters, like the people in our lives, have less likable parts. Today, we're going to begin a mini lesson for session 3. So, we're going to get started with that right away. Readers, remember when you started studying characters at the beginning of this year? It was easy to sympathize with your protagonist, your main character. You'll recall that we learned that complex characters, like the people in our lives, have less likable parts. By studying Harry Potter closely, for instance, we notice that though he's likable and compassionate, he also acts in extreme ways and sometimes ignores others when they're hurt. Studying Harry's less likable sides helped us realize he was more complicated than we originally thought. Over the last few days, you've been thinking deeply about your characters' relationships. Which relationships seem to be going well for characters and which are causing more problems? You've been noticing and talking to each other about parts of your books where troubles come up between characters. It's important to realize, though, that characters, even the ones that seem super likable or super innocent, often add to the trouble in relationships. Today, I want to teach you that readers pay careful attention to how each character contributes to relationship issues, even if the characters themselves don't see that they are partly to blame. Readers study characters' actions and reactions, asking, how does each character contribute to the trouble? Let's try this with a short video clip. We're going to take a look at the film Rocky Balboa. And this is a scene where Rocky and his son have some tension and they kind of get out there what their problem is. So I want you to think about, how does the father help to cause the trouble? How does the son help to cause the trouble? And how do the characters' actions toward each other add to the trouble?
You know, living with you hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now, with all this going on, this is going to be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
Well, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself. And this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through with this, okay? This is only going to end up bad for you. It's going to end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
It's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm going to be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this. But you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always going to love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son. You're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you're going to have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
Okay, so that was an intense scene where Rocky has been fighting his own demons with not being finished with boxing. He's old, but he still feels like he's got something left in him and he wants to have one more fight. And his son is embarrassed by it. His son has lived in his father's shadow. So he's frustrated. So he goes to his father's restaurant to pull him out, to talk to him about it and say, please don't do this. And you can see in the beginning, Rocky's listening to him. He lets him get his frustration out. So I would think that one way that Rocky is causing the trouble is because he has this in him that he wants to get out, and he doesn't realize how this is going to affect his son. And his son gets his frustration out, tells his dad, and Rocky listens. And you can see that he is physically, upset by this. And so then when Rocky starts to talk, I thought it was really interesting that his son kind of rolls his eyes. But then as Rocky keeps going and gets more into his story here, his lesson that he's trying to teach his son starts to listen, and his face kind of goes to almost like a quizzical type stare, like he is really soaking in what Rocky's saying. And he's kind of like Rocky's saying, this is not you. You are, making up excuses, and you're better than that. And so they both are definitely contributing problems or issues to this. And I'm sure that you can relate to this scene to other stories that you've read. So let's see how this same idea plays out in my side of the story. Let's choose a part we've studied before, right at the beginning, where Will's brother comes in and sticks tape on his head. It's pretty easy to see that Will's brother is contributing to the trouble in their relationship. So let's push ourselves to consider how both characters might be contributing. So you're going to think about Will's actions and reactions, and then track how his brother acts and responds. I was sitting at my desk in my bedroom practicing my signature when my brother came in and asked me if I wanted to throw the ball around or shoot baskets. No, I said. So he looked over my shoulder at my signatures and then went into the bathroom for a few seconds, came out, went to his own desk, unraveled an entire roll of Scotch tape, and stuck it on my head. Naturally, I was outraged. Why did you do that for? I asked. It was a stupid question because I knew very well why he had done it. He had done it for the same reason he had stuffed me in the laundry hamper and tied me to a chair with my best ties. He had done it because he was 14 and had great good fortune to be blessed with a little brother he could bedevil at will. This is complicated stuff, right? Think about the ways each character might be contributing to the relationship issues. Think about how they act and how they respond to one another. So let's think about these skills and apply them to the Serpent King. So when we apply this, we need to think about, study what the characters say and what they don't say and what's left unsaid. You could ask, how precisely does the character react to what happened? Push yourself to notice the specific words the author used to show the character's reactions. You can consider possible reasons why a character might be acting or reacting that way. What ideas does it give you about the relationship between these two characters? Readers, whenever you're reading, it's important to pay careful attention to relationship issues. You'll especially want to push yourself to consider how each character contributes to the relationship issues in the text. Studying a character's actions and reactions can help you determine how the character contributes. Even characters that initially seem innocent, uninvolved in causing the trouble, often play a role. Of course, paying attention to how characters contribute to relationship issues isn't the only work you might want to do as readers today. You'll want to draw on other work that strong readers do. You'll especially want to consider possible causes for the trouble in relationships, as well as the positive and negative sides of relationships. So, if you can see our three previous teaching points. And then today's teaching point is to study how each character contributes to the relationship issues. Notice actions and reactions. Your tasks for today are to complete that journal entry. That link is in Google Classroom. You then need to read chapters 7 and 8 in The Serpent King. I hope you're enjoying it so far and you're getting kind of attached to these characters. You then need to begin the chart identifying a relationship in The Serpent King and tracking the things those two characters say and do to each other and the reasons why. I hope you have a great Monday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.